Amazing. We can get started.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta let our DJ finish up his set real quick. Madou.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
There we go. Okay,
Well,
okay. Happy Friday. Hello, GitLab, and welcome back to our career growth series. For those of you that I haven't met before, my name is Pilar Mejia. I have been at GitLab for a little over 6 years, and when I'm not busy leading the US public sector distribution strategy, I have the absolute privilege of being one of the co-founders and the current lead of the Gente TMRG. And today I am here to serve as host for our fireside chat, unlocking your unique value. This conversation has been a while in the making. I had the absolute pleasure of meeting Madou, Romer, and Tatiana in person last year at President's Club. And as we got to talking, we're all about helping each other grow in our careers. And I thought, ooh, wouldn't it be interesting to hear from folks that have been at President's Club and not just once, but multiple times? Kind of give us some of your tips and tricks. Let us know what's helping you hit your goals. For those that maybe aren't part of the sales organization, President's Club is essentially for our high achieving, overachieving team members to get together and to celebrate a great year. So, as we kind of had some coffee chats, we realized that a lot of the success that we were seeing came from just having unique perspectives. And so we really wanted to take a moment to just learn a little bit about it, talk a little bit about it. For those of you, again, who aren't familiar with our TMRGs, TMags, you're going to find all the links in our notes doc. So get plugged into them, check out our career growth calendar. It is Black History Month. You can find those Zoom links in the notes doc as well. And so we're super excited to be teaming with Madou, who leads the Black at GitLab TMRG as well. So feel free to hit the chat if you're hearing something that resonates with you. Talk amongst yourselves. If you've got a question you want us to address, we do have an AMA section at the bottom of the doc. Fingers crossed, we have time for it. But this session is for you. So please make the most out of it. And with that being said, I'm finally going to get over to our amazing panel. So let's talk to our wonderful speakers today. And I'm going to start with Romer. Romer, tell us everything. Tell us where you're based out of. Tell us about your role and maybe your tenure at GitLab. Let's
yeah.
start there.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Romer Gonzalez. I'm originally from Venezuela, and now I'm living in Jersey City, New Jersey. I've been at GitLab for about almost 6.5 years. And recently, I got promoted to be a regional sales director for Latin America. Uh, I've been at GitLab since I joined the organization. I was the first A for the commercial team. That is company from 2,000 employees. And since then, I have had the amazing opportunity to work with different teams, different departments, wonderful people. And now, well, we are growing a lot, not only in Latin America, but also in the whole company.
Yes, thank you so much, Romer,
Yeah.
for making the time. I hope you're staying warm. The East Coast is feeling the chill.
Yes.
Next, Tatiana, tell us about yourself.
Sure, happy to share. So, yeah, I'm Tatiana. Everyone calls me Tati, even though I have a very Spanish name and I do have Spanish roots, but I'm born and raised in Brazil, São Paulo. And yeah, I lived my whole life in Brazil. And actually, GitLab is the very first kind of international company I worked for. I've been there 5 years in GitLab. And yeah, I started as a BDR, I became a team lead after a year, and then a year, 3 months, I became a manager. And yeah, it's been a journey. It's been really interesting because, as a side fact, when the management position came, I was really not having that thought that I would be capable to do that because I thought my English skills they were not enough. And I already was having that imposter syndrome talking to myself. Anyway, long story short, I'm very glad I made the decision to apply, and I've been in President's Clubs for a few years now as a manager. So yeah, that's a good way to kick off this conversation about knowing your potential.
Yes, thank you so much for that, Tati. I can't wait to hear more. And then Madhu, how are you? Happy
Uh,
Friday.
Happy Friday. So hello everyone. Madou Coulibaly, I'm a staff solution architect at GitLab for more than 4 years now. So I'm starting from a senior solution architect and moving to yes to staff promotion. So 1 year ago. I'm based in France, and I'm yes focused on the accounts in France, so bigger account in France. Yes, really happy to be here, and yes, to be able to share my let's say my stories, and also to answer your questions.
Yes, thank you so, so much. I know it's a busy time of year. We're kicking off fiscal 27, so appreciate everyone making the time. So let's dig into it. All right. First question for the panel. It's a little bit of a two-part question. But when you think about your career journey, particularly the moments where your diverse background played a role, what impact do you feel that that had on your growth? And if you did experience imposter syndrome along the way, which Tati, you touched on it, love it. How did you navigate that? I think we can all very much relate to that. So I'll open the floor to whoever would like to start.
I can
Okay.
start. Okay, I can start. Yeah, I can start. So on that, really interesting because the imposter syndrome. So this is something that I'm always have in my mind. So even right now, because for example, when I was young, just the fact to imagine that I will be able to work on an international, well-known worldwide company, it was really not an op it was not an option. It's not worse than not an option. It did not exist at all. So it's not something that I will be able to just imagine. And but I'm here. And but this is something that with this imposter syndrome, and because also I'm competitive, this is something that really helped me because it's always helped me to just do the best and to be able to work hard and hard again. And my reaction, so basically when you're talking about how my background helped me to get the impact, is that anytime when I have some doubt about myself and I have this kind of imposter syndrome, so I'm just trying to work more and more and more and more. So I know that's a very hard worker. So this is something that I really doing in yes all the time. And this is also what's helping me also to reach this president club, because it's of course it's not only work harder, but it's also to be able to also work smarter. That's helping you to achieve those things. So yeah, that is the story, and this is what I'm using. So basically, really using this imposter syndrome as a strength to be able to become better each day.
I love that. Using that perceived imposter syndrome might be a weakness, but actually it's leaning into it, using it as a strength, working harder. And I love the working smarter. I see Daniel in the chat. The obstacle is the way. Love that. Tati, would you like to go next?
Sure, I would love that. So basically, something that's really important. Imposter syndrome, everyone has it. C-level, VPs, your managers, they have imposter syndrome. So that's very natural. And I think if you don't have that, maybe your confidence is good, but it's natural. We know that we have fears because then you're gonna do your best. You know, if you go too overconfident on something, probably you're gonna get something wrong because it's important that we are have it's normal that we have fears, right? But the problem is when the fears they freeze us. And that's the point here. And I think me myself as a Latin woman, I speak with a lot of Latin people. We feel like sometimes like, am I enough? You know, I didn't have education in Europe. You know, I had my MBA, everything done in Brazil. And that was something that I was always thinking, can I really work in Europe in a well-known company? And having the drive and trusting your potential is the most important. You know, at the end of the day, no one it's looking for perfection, especially on hard skills. And what's important is your intention, is your commitment. And yeah, it's fine to feel fear. It's fine to have imposter syndrome. Let's give a hug because it's normal. But it's like, don't freeze because of that and take the risk. No, take the risk of trying. So when I applied for the management position, I was really afraid of like speaking in broader audiences in English. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to do like leadership meetings. I was really afraid, but I was like, you know what? I have to try. I have to take the risk. I feel like it's going to be a challenge. And yeah, it was a challenge. And I'm glad that I have, overcome that. And I think that's important. Just don't let your imposter syndrome or fear freeze you and take the risks.
I love that. We don't know what we can achieve until we try, right? And I love that call out. The fears are what also, in a way, push us to do our best. So That's a great reminder. Romer, your thoughts?
Yeah, I would say that I started and lived all my life in Latin America. When I moved to the US about 13 years ago, one of the things that I started to realize is in order to work in a company in the US, I needed to validate first if I was good enough. Similar to what Tati was saying, is I'm good enough to work in a US company. Also, my language. So I started to realize, okay, what are my unique values and skills that I have? Was languages, so Spanish and Portuguese, the ability or the experience to know Latin America. So I started to focus on, instead of working and looking for positions in the US, I was looking for positions that I could do for Latin America. So understanding what were my abilities at that time, helped me to identify, okay, what type of company, what type of roles, and where should I start putting my focus on. So I took the decisions to move to the New Jersey area, where English basically is one of the main languages. Almost nobody spoke Spanish on the street about 13 years ago in Jersey City. So I had to look for opportunities there where the competition, people that speak Spanish and Portuguese and know Latin America, was lower. So I put in the pressure to be in an area, in a city where the opportunities were lower, but also the competition were lower. So that helped me to understand that that is my unique value, to start focus on what I want to work on. And regarding the imposter syndrome, similar to Tati share, is that I started to talk to people that was in similar situations. So even though I can have the drive, I can have the willingness, it's important also to share with people that are in similar situations to get the courage and also the support to have those movements.
I love that, Romer. And you touched on something that is so important, which is figuring out what your unique value is. I love that when you decided, okay, it's the language, it's the expertise of LATAM, instead of going somewhere that might have been more comfortable, a city that speaks a lot of Spanish and English, you realized it would be a competitive advantage for you to go somewhere where there wasn't as much. That's so cool. You're so brave. I love that. And then that's such a great point. Find your people, find a network, reach out. I think that's what's so important about the TMRGs and just having these spaces. We're an all remote company. We may not have the opportunity to bump into someone at the water cooler, so to speak. So thank you so much for sharing and for being so open with your experience. That's super encouraging. And I practice makes perfect in the chat. Yes, so true, so true. All right, moving on. You all have such wonderful, diverse backgrounds. How do you feel that your background or experiences shaped the way that you lead at work and collaborate with others? And also, because they are so different, kind of what have you learned about the value of bringing these different perspectives to the table? Madou, would you like to kick us off again?
Oh yeah, sure. So yes, this is a very good question about so basically the experience that helping me basically to collaborate with others, because it's also based on also I will say about basically my stories, but it's that when I was young, so still young, so I was very shy, very shy. And my only way, let's say, not to express, but to be able to have friends and to be able to be closer with friends, is really to be able to understand them and to be able to be supportive. The support aspect that I have, or at least that developed, this is something that I really enjoy, to be able to help people, to be able to just people to tell me basically, yes, Madou, thank you. So this is really something that energizes me a lot into my way, so really personally. And this is something that I basically also apply a lot into my work. So that's why that anytime that there is someone who needs my help, or I can help someone, so whatever is at work in life, so this is something that I really doing right. And on that, also the fact that I'm shy, so I also taking a lot of time to listen people, to be able to listen and understand people, is really also open me to different, so basically different perspective and different visions. So this is something that has been accelerating with my previous company when I'm starting to travel all across EMEA, all across the world to be able to meet other people. Just to be able to, to see how, for example, French people, for example, is see from outside, even to be a co-leader of the Black Hat GitLab, just to be able to think that the vision that I've got from our community in France is completely different from the community in the US. It just helped me to, first of all, to, I guess, develop this empathy and also the way that you are not always good. So there is not always a good side and a bad side. But it's always about some perspective that if we are able to understand and to learn from each other's, so it's going to really bring not all the feedback that you are going to get, you are going to apply, but just to be able to take just one pieces that just going to basically influence basically the solution architect or the professional that I am right now. So really about this part of the background, what is really, really important is really to be able to, yes, staying open to others and always being a way to be able to work, yes, always all together, because I also like to celebrate and to make party. And of course, alone is not funny. So that's why that, yes, really be able to build your environment and to be able to keep people around you that are going to energize you, give you some positive feedback, positive energy. It's always really, really good to be able to learn from them.
That's such a great call out. And it's so perfect for your role, right? Having
Yeah.
that instinct to understand others is critical to being a good solutions architect. And the other thing I heard was listening. Listening as a skill. That can be a hard skill to learn sometimes. So that's a really great call out. And I think that obviously is what helps you bring these people around you and bring the different perspectives to the projects, which is great. So thank you for sharing that, Madou. Tati, how about you?
So I truly believe that diversity is amazing because you can open space for innovation. So the most diverse the team is, the better to create something special. And coming from Brazil, which is the most diverse country in terms of ethnies together, I think that also helped me to understand and have this tolerance that we're going to have different ways of thinking, different cultures, but we can all collaborate together, and that can be beautiful. So I like to actually celebrate diversity, individuality, and I've been managing like different regions and having people from different kind of countries and cultures collaborating together. And it has been a beautiful thing to see, like how we can be different and how we can kind of from those differences kind of make something beautiful out of that. So I just my way of dealing with that is celebrating the difference instead of making them being a barrier.
That's such a great call out. I love that, celebrating the diversity and individuality. And you're absolutely right. If we all came to the table thinking the exact same thing, we would come up with the exact same idea, whatever it is. Having the diverse perspectives, having, almost that push and pull, right? Because it can be a challenge to understand each other when we have such different backgrounds. But that's how we truly get like the innovation that you're talking about. So that's such a great call out. Now I want to join your team. I want to celebrate too. Let's do it.
Please.
All right, Romer.
Yeah, yeah. One thing that I learned when I was around 23, 24 is in order to be happy, it's a decision that I have to make by myself. Nobody can make the decision. And the second one is that for me to be happy is accept what I'm doing, what I am, and also how the people is. I can force them. So one thing that have made me be more, in a way, happy and also be more comfortable in moving to different countries and different people is that accepting how I am and how the people are. So when I came to the US, this was the first time that I had the opportunity to really be in a diverse, as let's say, country, not only with races, but also with religions, but beliefs. So I think that that openness to accept people as they are, understanding how people are, and also understanding the situation of what they are living without judgment is what makes easier to navigate situations. And also when we related to work, if, as it was mentioned, if you have the opportunity to listen to people and to have different voices and different perspectives, it's much easier to have a more integrated solution or answer than just making the decision on your own experience.
Oh my goodness. Romer, you are one of the happiest people that I know. So I'm so glad that you brought that up. I'm like, how is Romer always so happy? And you're right. You decided to be happy. That's a great decision to make in your early 20s. And I love that part of that happiness is also being comfortable accepting the differences around you. Instead of pushing against it, lean into it, enjoy it.
I would say
And
that especially, sorry, Pilar, I think that
yeah, no, go.
you can accept people how they are,
Yeah.
but more important is accepting you or accepting yourself with your bad things, with your good things, and also accepting what are you feeling in that moment. This is
That is such a good call out. You're going to make me get emotional, Drummond, because yes, we all need that reminder to give ourselves grace, accept ourselves, and that how we're feeling is okay, right? And how do we navigate that? And how do we move forward and get growth out of it? So I love that point that in that way, we really do come up with more integrated solutions. So thank you for that, Drummond. That's a wonderful call out. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next question. Yes, this is a good one. This is the one I need too. So I was curious, and I know Romer, you spoke about this specifically. What process did you go through to identify your unique talents and figure out where to best apply them? And then maybe was there a pivotal moment or realization that helped you understand that value proposition, your value proposition? I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. And so I know since you brought it up, Romer, do you want to start us off?
Yes, absolutely. When I graduated from the university, I knew what I didn't want to be. I know that we are in a software development company, and at that moment, I decided not to continue developing because I studied computer sciences and I spent hours and hours looking for the period for the comma that was in a line. And at that time, you have to read all your code to find out where the problem was. So I decided, well, I'm not going to continue with in the development area, but I want to be more related to projects, to work with people. And when I started to be a project manager and then working with in project with customers, I realized that I have that easy communication with customers to understand what they needed. And that led me to start more focused on as a solution architect and then in sales. So I think that it was part of that pivoting what I didn't want to be to this new area of project management and sales. And then start to listen to people when they told me, well, you have that unique or that skills to listen to people, to be more comfortable talking to people instead of being in an office. And then I decided to, in order to continue growing in Latin America, at least in Venezuela, when we see where we want to grow, one of the main countries is Brazil. So in order to have relationship and business with Brazil, you have to study Portuguese. So I think that in order to know where you want to go, or in that case, I wanted to continue doing and developing my career in business in Latin America, I needed to continue studying new things like Portuguese or doing an MBA. I'm making the decision, okay, if I want to really understand how the business is, I have to make some decisions like moving to another country or or identifying what are those skills that people mention that you have, even though you don't realize it.
Yeah, that was great. So what I heard is the first step was listening to yourself. You were a developer, you realized, I actually don't want to do this. Let me try something different. So having that willingness to try
Mhm.
something new as well. And the cherry on top is being open to that feedback. And
Yeah.
we may have to go out there and get it proactively, but that's a great call out. Ask people where they see you succeeding and what they
Mhm.
think your natural talents are. That's really great. And then we get to some fun decision making. So thank you for that, Roman. Madou, would you like to go next?
Yes. So I think, yeah, for me, it was a very long process to be able to really identify my value proposition. Because on that part is always, so I was really feel that I need to, to compare to others or to be able to do like others, basically to be able to provide value, to be able to be in this specific box and to not be different, right? To be able just to mimic what I've seen around me. And it make me a lot of time to be able to realize that. So it's also linked to the imposter syndrome, but really to realize that we are who we are. So I think as Romer, as you mentioned, about the fact that it's very, very important to accept yourself, what you feel, who you are, and how you would like to be seen as well. So that's something and could be a long process and depending about the people. But when you've done that, you're starting to identify what are your strengths and your weaknesses. And based on the strengths that you have, how you are going to turn those strengths to be able to adapt to any situation and any roles or any part of your life. And yeah, for me, this is something that I learned around. I think yes, work really helped me on that. So with the
Mhm.
different roles that I have, and also the different people that I met as well, because I met great leaders, a great manager that trust me, for example, and let me have some chance really to be able to try things, to be able to do my own experience, to learn from this experience, so see to be guided with some guidance. And this is something that's really, really important. And I think that, yes, the pivotal part is really about, so once again, the environment, the people that is around you that are really, really important because those people that going to basically see your value, be able to tell you what's good, what's not good. That's also people that you are going to listen. And that's basically also helping to know you basically better. But of course, this is also self introspection that everyone needs to do by their own.
Absolutely. That's such a great call out. I know we're running short on time. I don't have a hard stop, but I want to be respectful of everybody's. Do we have a couple extra minutes, Tati? Yes? Okay. Wonderful. Please, I'd love to hear from you on this question as well.
Yeah, I will try to, be concise on this one, but I would say where you have joy, joy and performance is connected. So, and that's
Mm,
how I lead the team as well, because I truly believe that if you're having joy, you're going to perform the most. So it's try to feel in your journey where you have most joy, in which type of activities, because it's where probably it's where your talents are, because it's naturally
mm,
coming while you're doing that. So yeah, the way I found my values or where I could try to succeed the most was where I was having most joy. It's working with people. Therefore, people leadership, I was sure that was a position I wanted to be, but because I really have joy doing that. And I think that's the important point to realize in yourself.
Mm.
that's beautiful. You're absolutely right. And that's such a good call. If you're having fun doing it, that probably means you're good at it and you should lean in there. And I love that tie to it was people. And that led you to management. And Maju, the how you would like to be seen really resonated for me. That's such an important internal conversation to have, right? How do I want to present myself to others? And then coupled with surrounding yourself with people that let you grow. Mwah, I love it. Those are all such important call outs. I know we are technically over our time, so I'm going to tell you all, we do have an optional, what's the best piece of career advice you've gotten? You can fill that in asynchronously, and I'll snoop on that later. But for everybody else, thank you for coming and tuning in live. We are recording all our sessions and they will make it to our career growth playlist. So we'll be sure to link that all up. I'm so excited that next month we're going to be teaming with the women's TMRG. So yay! I'm so excited. Gussie has been working hard to get us an amazing speaker. No spoilers yet, but stay tuned. Check out the TMRG, TMAG Slack channels. Join a Google group if you're not part of one either, so everything will drop on your calendar magically. And please take care of yourselves out there. Lean on each other, set up a coffee chat, surround yourself with people that'll help you grow, okay? It has been amazing seeing all of you. Thank you, Romer, Madou, Tatiana, Tati. You just have such a pretty name. I can't help but say it all, right? Have an incredible rest of your day. It's Friday, so have an amazing weekend too, everyone. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much for
Pilar,
the
for
Bye.
time.
Thank you,
organizing.
Thank
Pino.
you.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
Ciao,
Bye,
ciao.
everyone.